All right. Full moon. Tonight we're talking about releasing false identities. And we talked about this a lot like all last summer. So I'm curious for those of you that were here last year, if this is something that you still think about, like what identities are mine, which ones are serving me. And these are things like, the caretaker, the good girl, the responsible one, the one who never asks for help, these things that we've like identified ourselves with. But they don't, we sometimes let them become all consuming and they don't need to be, right? So it's like, you can be the caretaker, you can take care of people, but it doesn't have to be all of who you are, right? Or you don't put your needs before caretaking other people, right? Like you can still take care of people without becoming the caretaker. Does that make sense? So, any thoughts from those of you who were around last year when we talked about all the identity work and you're like, I don't remember that. So I could just talk about the same thing every summer. And you guys okay, I'm gonna remember that for next year. I'll do 2024s and 2026 and I should be good, right?
It's all good stuff, and the more that it's like that awareness thing that we've talked about quite a bit, right? It's once you have that awareness, I find that when I've talked, it's helped me in some of the conversations I've had with my daughter, because I'm like, hey, you and the boyfriend, like, that shouldn't be, like, you don't want that to be, like, your only identity, right? Like, don't forget about, like, your friends and having your own interests. Like, it's great that you're in love, and it's great that you're connected, but you need to be able to have more than just that one identity.
Yeah.
Because, like, what if, right? Then what do? If maybe you decide that he's not for you, or you wrap your identity around it so much that, like, you don't see then those flaws or those things that are, like, deal breakers, and you just start accepting and you start settling, and it becomes something that you're not happy about anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's been good, because, we talked about it last year, but I feel like we talked about it even at that first summer camp.
Yeah.
Too.
Mm-hmm. Well, and here's the thing is, like, there's other things that we can identify with, right? Like our careers. Mm-hmm. And then what happens when we retire? Feel lost, right? I know a lot of you don't think that now because you're not near retirement, but almost every person I know that's retired goes through this, like, deep grieving period of, like, not knowing who they are, what they're supposed to be doing with themselves.
It doesn't have to be retirement, though. Like, I mean, you can think of it as change of job. Like, I worked a job for 15 years. I did the same job since I was 16, and, like, about 5 years ago, I switched jobs. It was the hardest thing ever because I switched completely different. I was doing something completely different. I totally didn't know who I was at all.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't have to be just retirement. It could be switching jobs. It could be...
Oh, yeah. There's grief with any change,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
No, but it's just that changing identity you're talking about, right?
Yeah. And so, like, what if we didn't have to identify so much with what we did for a living? Right?
I think we do just because we do it for so long. We do it for so many years because you need to work, you need to that's who you become. So when you don't have that anymore, it's like, well, I don't know who I am. Because this is who I am when I do this. So I think that's why you notice it more as a loss. Because it was such a large part of your life. Mm-hmm. Unless you're the type that can go every couple of years, you're doing something new and bringing it. But yeah, I think that's why most people have such a difficult time.
Mm-hmm.
Whole society, I mean, like, that's how they judge you, basically. Like, that's one of the first things you ask.
Hi, how are you? What do you do for a living?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like when we met your friends at the Rib Fest. We're going to St. Albert this weekend too, if you want to come. Just saying. It's just not as well organized as Spruce Grove, so I don't feel right inviting anybody because I'm afraid I'm going to show up and it's going to be a shit show. Has anybody been to St. Albert Rib Fest?
I have. When Scar was like 3.
Oh, was it a shit show?
No, it was fine. Like, it wasn't as, it didn't have like the VIP tent and the like, I think they did have singers, but it was more just like the same types of people, like setups came.
Oh, okay.
It was in the field it was at Lions Park at the time.
Yeah. Now it's at the casino, and there's literally no information. It's like, Rib Fest this weekend, more details coming soon. Yeah, apparently.
Ribs will have it, and that's-
Yeah, ribs will
Is
have.
it around the casino or is it?
It's outside, like it's in the parking lot of the casino.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's like 5 minutes from my house. So if it's a bus to like turn around and go home, right? But I like thought about inviting people, and I'm like, yeah, but what if it's really awful? Like, anyway, so why was I talking about this? Oh, your friends. Yeah, so I was talking to your friends because you and Kurt and Scarlett, I think, went to go get ice cream or something, and I was like trying so hard not to like ask them what they did for a living, right? But then you like end up asking them because I think it's like part of how you try to like figure people out, right? Like, oh, what do you do?
Well, I think it's a commonality thing too, right? You're trying to find a common, something you can, sometimes it's about finding something you can commonly talk about, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you're going into a situation, you don't maybe know who the people are, so you don't know what the topics are that are okay to talk about. You know?
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
an
know.
easy topic.
Yeah, it's an easy topic, right? Because then it starts the conversation.
Totally. But yeah, it was just like, I was like, oh, this is a situation that I'm not in often. I always try not to ask people what they do. No, I got nothing. I got to ask them what they do. Like, yeah. So, but yeah, then it's funny, you know, talking about judgment, how we like automatically start placing judgments on people based on what they do. Like, oh, they probably live in this kind of house and like drive this kind of car and like, you know, like it's so bizarre. But for me, I've tried to focus a lot on like not identifying with my work, and I talk to James about it a lot because I think there's this lie that we're sold that our work needs to be fulfilling. And I think that's a lie because I think really you should look for other areas of your life that can fulfill you, and work is just something that you do.
I've known my own job pretty awesome.
What?
I've known my job pretty awesome.
Yes, but here's the thing, right? Is like not everybody, like for the most part, nobody's like, I love getting up and going to work every morning. For the most part, okay? So if we spend our entire lives trying to be fulfilled by what we do for work, what does that do to us?
The thing is you just spend so much time there, and it feels like if you don't find something, some kind of fulfillment or whatever, then what the hell are you doing exactly?
Yeah.
Like it's just,
And what's the
just
point?
makes it feel like work is just even worse.
Yeah. It pays the bills so I can do fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't get to.
It's not who you are.
Yeah, but you don't always get there, is I think what you're trying to, like, you're working 40 hours plus a week, most of us, right? You don't always get to that piece, is my point. You come home, it takes a while to unload from whatever day you're doing, you're doing your chores or whatever, so a lot of people don't get that other piece, so you're working and they're just working to work, you don't actually get the fulfillment piece. So if you don't have the work, like, and then if you think about it, you've been working since maybe you were 16, if you didn't have work, you may have been a different person then than you are now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But do we think it's wise to attempt? No, not attempt. To put our full stake in finding our identity within our work.
Definitely not.
No,
Right?
because then
No.
you get into shame, because then you get into, well, what if you don't? What if you don't have a job that fulfills you?
Yeah.
Then what, you're like judging yourself for that? So you don't like your job and you're judging yourself?
I'm
You don't need that.
And
I don't
like,
need that. And
like-
I love that, we
Yeah.
wish we had jobs like, you know, that you loved, and some people can, right? But if you can't, then maybe you need to find stuff outside of work too, so you can at least have a little bit of fun.
well, and here's the thing about like,
Nothing to do.
yeah, like entrepreneurship, right, is interesting because like you're like, oh yeah, I love my job, but there are definitely parts of your job that you fucking hate, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay, like it's year end. You guys all know it's my accounting time. Super fun times for me right now. Okay, and so it's like again, if you put your full stake in that, I mean, it could disappear. Anything could happen. Look at COVID, right? COVID stole a lot of people's businesses that they had for their entire lives. We were very fortunate. We were very lucky. We are very lucky that we still exist. And so if I had put my entire identity into the studio and it disappeared, then what am I left with? Right? But interestingly enough, that was actually one of the big drivers for me to keep it open. Because the question was like, it was always like, okay, so let's close the studio. And then I was like, yeah, but what else would I do? right? But not who would I be.
Mm-hmm.
What else would I do? I'd probably like work at Starbucks. Okay? It'd have to be something that just kept me busy and my 8 hours went by fast and whatever.
Well, that's the funny thing when you think about it. Like, it's when when you kind of know, when you don't necessarily identify with what you do or whatever, you're like, but you know yourself. You're like, ooh, what can I do that someone would pay me for, or would actually could tolerate? Because I'm like, no, I'm not doing any of that. Not doing that either. Been there, done that. What do you know? If you're gonna try and do something for work, right? Like when you're like, I know who I am.
Yeah.
I don't have an identity that's like wrapped up in something other than like I'm not slogging hamburgers, you know.
Yeah. Well, and like if you think about even entrepreneurship and starting a business, like, you know, there's somebody out there who was like, I'm gonna start a toilet paper company. Do you think they find joy in selling toilet paper? No, they probably find joy in entrepreneurship though. Right? Like that's what it is for me. Like I've worked for myself since I was 16 years old. Right? And so like I love being an entrepreneur, no matter what it is that I'm doing. But like a lot of people are like, don't think about that. Like, oh, somebody had to, or like a toilet company. Obviously my head's in the bathroom right now. But, right? Like think about all the like who would ever start that business? Right? Well, it's filling a need, filling a void. My point is we can't put our stake in one thing, right? And so we will wear many, many identities throughout our lives. And at one point in your life, you could have 50, 60, 100 different identities. But it's when they start causing you problems that we need to look at, like, is this mine? Do I actually want it? Okay? So a false identity is, it's a version of yourself you've learned to present to the world because it makes you feel safe, accepted, or praised. Okay, and I know that feels yucky. But like, what are the things that you do maybe to get praise, right? It feels really good when you get praised for doing them. So a lot of us have the kind of good girl identity of like, oh, I do this and this and this to get praise. Nobody? Everybody's like, no. Yeah. Or everybody? Yeah. Right? External validation is something that we crave.
Yeah. For me, it was always like being the hostess, like entertaining and having these elaborate parties that were like in the background was like a basket case. But then at the, you know, everyone's, oh, it's so impressive, this is so wonderful. And then I'd always feel really good, but now I'm over all that. I don't got the time for that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like, you know that you're identifying with something like that when you have the party and then it's like thankless and you're like, motherfuckers.
When my family members were coming and just like eating all the food and then leaving and never reciprocating, and I was like, why am I doing all this? Like nobody's even appreciating it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for the validation and I don't need it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's things that you thoroughly enjoyed hosting at some point, and that could be part of your identity. But to like become the hostess and need to host everything and do these grand things and get the validation, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Right? Because I love being a hostess.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think that, and I mean, this is true for everybody, like everything that's happened in your life all culminates and brings you to like the point that you're at right now. And like I was thinking about how I went to event management school. It was like a 2-month certification at NAIT, right? And I'm like, I worked in the industry for like 6 months, and then they fired me for not being polished enough, basically. Surprise. Anyway, and I was like, oh, that's such a waste of time. That was such a waste of money, you know. But now I like use it every day. Like I literally plan events, like workshops. Those are events. This women's circle. This is an event. Right? So it doesn't mean that your hostess can't still be a part, but it's like do it for the love of it, not for the validation. Yeah, that's a good example. Anybody else?
With a good daughter.
Oh, the good daughter. Yep. That one's coming out in me right now, big time.
We're always trying to, do the right thing and be there and answer all the calls. Somebody was here last week, right? She was the good daughter for her dad all the time answering. So I'm the same thing. It's like, oh, they need something. And you're always, and not that you can't be the good daughter, but you don't have to be all the time. Or if you have siblings, maybe you think. My dad over for his birthday. My brother texts me at 7:45 the night before my dad's birthday. What are we doing for Dad's birthday? I don't
know what you're doing, so figure it out.
I don't know what you're doing, but he's right here now for supper, so you figure it out.
Yeah.
54, 5.
Yeah.
You can figure it out, big brother.
Totally.
That's what I said to him. So.
Yeah, good for you. That's like my yes rule with my sister, right? Because for a long time, and of course this took like therapy to figure it out, but I felt responsible for my sister for a lot of reasons. But one of the main reasons was I realized that I felt responsible for her getting pregnant at 15, which I'm obviously not responsible for her getting pregnant at 15, but in the way that she got pregnant, it's because she was like, hanging out with the older crowd and with like some of my friends and so that's why I felt like maybe that was.
That's why my sister's on the
Put your
pill.
gingers on.
Because she hung out with me and my friends, and when I went on the pill, my mom put her on the pill. So.
Well, Tiana was on the pill. She just didn't take it, so.
Oh,
It only works if you take it.
See, that's my sister's like, we get up in the morning, take your pill? No, go take your pill. I was the good sister.
Oh, making sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so, for a long time, I felt like I had to help her with everything because it was like my fault that she had this baby when she was 15. Right. And so I spent a lot of time raising Preston and buying him clothes. And like I bought him all of his school clothes until like grade 10. Right. So for like 11 years, I bought him all of his school clothes. And it was like something we did together. So it was fun, but it was like a huge expense that wasn't mine to have, So.
Because aunties don't do just a little bit, right?
Oh, no.
Aunties don't say no.
Aunties go to the fancy stores.
When aunties don't have, I didn't have kids till I was older too, so aunties don't say no.
So again, this like being responsible for my sister, that was like part of my identity. And then I had to really start undoing that because it was like becoming detrimental to my life, serving her,
Are you gonna get into how you undo it?
Yes, you
That's what I'm really curious about.
I'm doing what specifically or just like false identities?
Something specific, but
We're getting there, but
Okay.
if you want to share, you
I
can.
don't think you finished the story about no, yes.
Oh yeah, so I have a thing with my sister that I say no, yes. So I say no to her twice when she asks me for something, and then I say yes. But then she also still does like stupid shit. Like today I got an Amazon box this big delivered to my house for her because she lives in the middle of nowhere now and can't get Amazon delivered. So she put in a massive order and is gonna come pick it up for me. Fantastic. James is like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, it's not me. It wasn't me. I swear to God.
It's not a couch.
Yeah, it's not a couch. Today I sent him Costco's got couches. I like sent him the couch. I was like, this is a good price. He didn't even respond to me. Nothing. For those of you who are not informed,
You're gonna bankrupt them on
I'm gonna bankrupt us because I buy too many barbecues. So I'm not allowed to
Is
buy
that
a
your new
couch.
thing? Buy
Not
too many
allowed-
barbecues?
Yeah.
The barbecue was free.
I know. PC points.
If you bought too many groceries, is what's going to bankrupt you.
Yeah, and we only threw out corn last week. Out of all the vegetables, that's all we threw.
Did you press record?
Yeah. Yep, we're good. Thank you, though. So yes, we're gonna get there, but I mean, it's all boundaries. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of people who are like, when is the boundaries and cord cutting class happening again? Because like it's something you just have to learn and you have to practice, and it really sucks when you first start doing it. It feels awful. It feels like you were being the meanest person on the planet, but then you do it and you're like, oh, I didn't die, and actually my life is getting a little bit better every time that I do this.
I think it's like, for me, it's like setting boundaries with yourself. Like, because I'm not actually setting it with somebody, but I'm setting it for somebody. Does that make sense?
Possibly.
Okay, I guess I should explain.
Safe
Well,
space.
otherwise it won't really make sense.
Yeah.
So, okay, I had a friend who blocked me on Facebook. Okay.
We all have one of those.
But I don't know why.
Okay.
And so it bugs me because I'm a person that feels indebted to her. I have lots of friendships that I feel that way, not that I even know if they're friendships. My point is that I have to make a boundary in my head because I woke up at 4:30 the other day thinking about her because I'm thinking about her more than she's thinking about me, I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you create the boundary in your head is what I'm trying to say. Like, how do you do, that's, because you're talking about boundaries, but I'm not actually setting it with, like, I'm not saying to you, like, hey, she created the boundary for me, if that makes sense.
Right.
So how do you?
I mean, for me, it would just be like noticing the thought and changing it, and just like forgiving yourself for having it, right? Because like people will live in your head for a really long time until you choose not to.
Did you just
Right.
message her and ask her why she blocked you?
No, because I work with her, and so I'm worried. Like it's intricate, right? Like I don't know.
She's probably doing things that she doesn't want you to know about for work, in case you tell someone.
Well,
Don't worry about it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like one of those things, right? It's I thought we were friends, and then now obviously like we're not
Mm-hmm.
so much, and so I feel this like thing where it's hard for me to like block that out. I have a thing where I don't like people being mad at me. I like to fix things. I'm a fixer. It's what I do. So when I don't know why, it's hard.
So rather than being a fixer, you know, like what Vicky said, it's like, can you just be curious instead? And just be like, hey, I noticed we're not friends on Facebook anymore. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Right? What's the worst that can happen? She's already...
Yeah.
She'd be like, why are you snooping?
But like, if you already feel like the friendship is over, what is the risk you're taking by asking about it?
Yeah. Because you still have to be around her?
Hmm?
You're still around her, are you? Like,
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Freaking just ask.
Because I'm a person like, okay, I'm a person I don't know. I always think about what I did. Like, did I say something to her that maybe I shouldn't have said, or did I say something about somebody else? Like, I don't know, right? You're in conversation. I'm having a conversation with you. Sometimes you say things. I don't know. So that's where my brain goes,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't want it to jeopardize my job. I go. That's where I go.
Yeah, and you know what that is? That's anxiety.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what do we learn in somatics? The mind likes to tell lies, but the body tells the truth. So I would go to your body and ask, like, what do you need to do to feel better about this? Maybe it is talk to her, and maybe it's just like, every time you think of her, I forgive this thought and choose again. I'm not going to think of her, right? Or like, she decided to end the friendship, so I'm going to leave it unless she reaches out, right? It was like that woman that said to me, right? Like, are we still friends? And I was like, no. Like, sorry, we're not, right? For me, that was the most loving thing I could do. For her, it wasn't, right? So it's like, I had to, though, because I couldn't keep
Right.
going on.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if that helps, but maybe there'll be more in here that will help too.
That's what I was.
Yeah. Okay. So you can tell that you're living from a false identity when there's a disconnect between what you're doing and what you actually feel. So you might be saying yes when you want to say no because you don't want to disappoint anybody. Okay? It might be downplaying your joy or success so others don't feel uncomfortable. It might be adjusting yourself depending on who you're with, as if you have a mask for every room that you enter. And sometimes there's a quiet question that says, if they really knew me, would they still love me? Right? If they really knew all of me, would they still love me? I have to flip this upside down. So we know where these masks come from, right? They come from trauma. They come from our childhood. They come from when we were learning how to belong, right? Because somebody told you, you can't act like that. And then you decided, oh, I can't act like that. And it's like, well, actually, no, you can. They were just told that they couldn't act like that, and they pass that on to you. And, you know, they come from expectations and rules from our family, culture, school, community. We've been told directly, be polite, be quiet, work hard, do not show anger, don't take up too much space. Other times we learned through what was rewarded and what was rejected, right? Oh, that person has a lot of friends and they do this, this, and this. And so if I'm like that, then maybe I'll have a lot of friends. If being helpful brought praise, we leaned into that role. If showing emotion brought criticism, we learned to keep it inside, right? These identities worked for a time, helping us to navigate the world, fit in, and avoid pain, right? And that's one of the main reasons why we create identities, is because as humans, we're always seeking to find pleasure and seeking to avoid pain. Okay? So over time, these identities can drain us. Constantly performing and presenting the right version of ourselves is exhausting. We'll begin to feel disconnected from our own needs, desires, and truth. And like when we first started talking about desire, like last spring, the amount of us, myself included, who were like, I haven't asked myself what I wanted for years, was alarming. It was like 90%, right? And so we get disconnected from what we actually want because we don't even know, because we have all these false identities that we're hanging on to because they kept us safe or got us what we needed in the moment, right? So relationships can suffer because people are connecting with your mask, not the real person underneath. And the place that this is most apparent, that I think probably most of us can relate to, is think back, or maybe you don't have to think that far back, to your first date with somebody. Who do you show up as on that first date? Do you show up in your sweatpants and 3-day-old hair?
No, but I've had guys do that.
Right? Are you ordering the spaghetti with tomato sauce and I don't know, whatever is going to get all messy all over you? That's going to get all messy all over me. Are you talking about things that you're super passionate about, or are you keeping it surface level? Right? So, like, where do we do this? And this causes so many problems in relationships. Like, me and James are lucky to still be together, because when we moved in together, I, like, stepped into this role of, like, the good wife, like, right away, right? Need to make dinner every night, have dessert, like, clean up after him, do his laundry, all this stuff. And guess how long that lasted?
30 minutes?
Not long. Maybe like a week or two before I was like completely exhausted. And then guess what happened? Real Trista came out and he was like, I do not like this at all. We actually talked about this a couple days ago. He was like, I almost broke up with you in the apartment. Because, yeah, we were playing this card game when we were on our picnic. And it was like, is there any time that you thought about leaving? And he's like, I thought about leaving you in the apartment, which was like, new relationship. Like, we shouldn't have even been living together. Anyways. And I was like, why? And he's like, you are so messy. And I was like, oh, well, I was just trying to like hold it all together. And it's like, he can say I'm messy, and I am. Like, people know that I'm messy. Like, it's no fucking secret that I'm messy. But he also wasn't doing anything to contribute. Right? So, like, my husband didn't even know how to do a load of laundry when he moved in with me. And this is what he talks about when he's like, you know, my mom wasn't a bad mom per se, but, like, she never set me up for success. Right? He's like, I had to learn from you how to do laundry. And then when my little brother moved in with us, I had to teach him. Right? And he's like, that's dumb. Like, why would a mother not teach me that? You know?
Because your wife will do it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Do you have any sisters?
No. Right? Well, he has like a half sister, but they have no relationship. So, but Edith is funny, right? Because she talks about her husband like, he never helps me, he doesn't do anything, he doesn't do laundry, and he doesn't cook, and he doesn't blah, 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 right? But when it comes to like me with James, she's like, you should be putting away his clothes, and you should be packing his suitcase, and you should be making
Because that's her
dinner every
baby.
night, and blah, 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 right? Yeah. But now it's, yeah. His brother called him the mom on the weekend, last weekend, and he really didn't like that. Yeah. And I was like, I'm okay with it, kind of. And he's like, yeah, but it doesn't need to be framed like that. Like, I'm a dad. Like, I'm being a dad. But he was like, oh yeah, Trista's like making the money and you're like staying home with the kid. It's like, yeah.
It's a different identity though, right?
Yeah.
For him, so the mom, like it really is, can almost be a compliment in a way, like
Yeah.
he's stepping up, he's,
And I was just going
You
to say
know?
that it might have landed different if it was
Yeah.
more like an off the cuff remark.
Yeah.
But because of Devin being who it is, you know, he's trying to like stick it to James. Give him the old shit.
Well, yeah, because they live in a household where it's like the husband works and the wife stays home and is barefoot in the kitchen having babies every 12 months, you know, kind of thing. So anyway, yeah. So our relationships suffer because of our masks, with all that being said. Okay? And perhaps the deepest cost to all of it is our true self. So we don't get to fully live with our unique gifts, passions, even our quirks, right? They don't get to fully exist because we've been told to tone it down or do it differently or whatever, right? Okay. So the full moon is a moment of illumination, and it brings light to what's been hiding and allows us to see the patterns, habits, and roles that no longer align with who we're becoming. So energetically, it is the peak of the lunar cycle when everything reaches its fullest expression before it starts to wane. Okay? So this is the perfect time to release what has served its purpose so that new space can open within us. So the August moon is the Sturgeon moon, and it's fallen in Aquarius this year. So it's all about authenticity, individuality, and liberation from limitations. So Aquarius encourages us to unapologetically be ourselves, even if it means stepping away from the crowd. This is a lunar moment of freedom, a time to question the roles we've been playing and realign with the truth of our inner self. So under this moon's light, we can see our false identities clearly, thank them for the protection they once offered, and release them into the night, trusting that who we are is actually enough, or more than enough. Okay? So releasing false identities is not just about letting go of what's no longer serving us. It's also about uncovering what has been hidden underneath. When we take off the mask, we do not just see the wounds that it's been protecting. We also reveal the strengths, talents, and brilliance that has been quietly waiting to emerge. So the masks we wear aren't just protecting us, aren't just hiding our vulnerabilities, they're hiding everything we actually have to offer the world too. So you might not even be able to identify what you're holding back from.
So when you just said that, I'm like, oh, actually, no. Like, yeah, what those masks must be here, or is that who I think I am? Yeah.
Right? So, shadow work teaches us that the shadow is not only the parts of ourselves that we see as negative. Look, you guys picked the perfect card. But also the parts we have pushed away out of fear. And these can be our greatest gifts, right? Like, does anybody have a gift that they're so afraid to share because, like, if it gets rejected or ridiculed, then it's like, it would destroy you, break your heart. Right? Like, for me, it's writing. So, like, I share a lot of my writing, but it's also like, if somebody told me that I was not good at it, I don't know how I would feel about that. So that's another thing for me to look at, external validation. Right? Can I write for the love of writing? But how often are we doing this, right? Hiding our greatest gifts. And we all know the reason we did this, right? Because speaking up as a child brought criticism. Maybe you hid your sensitivity because people told you it was weak. Maybe you toned down your boldness because it made others uncomfortable. Maybe you stopped sharing your art because it felt safer to keep it private. So we actually had a thing happen this weekend. So James he's a very good artist, but it was never nurtured. He really wanted to go to art school, and he never ended up in university because nobody would help him fill out the paperwork, basically. right? He felt like he didn't know where to start and there was nobody to help him do it. And his mom was like, well, you're going to school, it's not for art. Right? And so this weekend, we went to my sister's house, and Maya is drawing everything. And she drew us this picture. She drew a family portrait of me and James and the baby. And she we were sitting at the table and she was drawing it, looking at it. So, yeah. But she gives it to me. And I'm like, okay, I can keep it together. I can just be but because you don't want to be what is this? Right? And so I look at it and I'm like, what's all over my face? And she's like, that's James's beard. But it looked like James had my hair, right? But it was his hat. And so we had to figure it all out, right? And Tiana goes, well, if you did this and not this, then it would be better, kind of thing. And James is like, do not critique her art. He got really upset about it, right? And I was like, yeah, how often do we do that? Right? Why not just be this is great. Keep drawing. Right? Maya watches YouTube 24/7, so she's probably watching how to draw stuff. We don't need to be it could be better if you did this. Right? And Tiana too is a very good artist, but has kept that very close to her chest as well. So, but I should post some of the pictures actually. They're quite funny. She drew one of Ellie, and she's got her Seuss in and everything, and she's funny.
You should really post Ellie's first portrait.
Ellie's first portrait, yeah.
And I think trauma pushes creativity down. It hides it a lot. So I deal with clients all the time, and it's bringing out those strengths. I'll see art, they're amazing artists, but they don't see it for themselves because trauma has taken that away from them.
Do you think that's why they're amazing artists? Because I have 20 foster kids, I would say the majority of them either were really great artists or they could write really well.
Yeah, well, they have
poetry
pain.
and
They have
stuff,
pain
so.
to speak from, right?
Yeah. It's just almost an amazing thing that.
Yeah, I do this.
Not always. Sometimes you just have a family that nurtures you.
Also,
right?
that.
I mean, just speaking from someone who is an artist, not me, but my cousin is a recognized, renowned,
He gets paid
whatever.
for his art.
Yeah, he gets paid to art. And his dad was a welder, but his dad loved to art. His dad loved to paint and draw. So they really, really nurtured his creativity. And he's it's amazing that I get paid to do what I love to do.
But it's the percentage.
Yeah. Probably because it's something that they can do and nobody nobody can take it away. It's easy.
I look pen and paper, it doesn't cost a lot of money.
I look at my step kiddo and because I'm nosy and when she leaves I go through her stuff and
as you should.
Some of the stuff she draws I'm like, holy shit. This is really and she's doing all people. And people are hard. And I'm and she's practicing hands and and I'm like, holy shit. She's 12, But when I think of probably what she has at home, she probably has a pencil and a piece of paper and
Yeah, I just think it's part of their brain in that case with those.
It could be a way that they hope to process
really
too.
Yeah.
If they don't have anybody safe to talk to. Yeah.
It's an escape, yeah.
It's unproportional, I think, with the kids that have suffered the big traumas and stuff, that how artistic they are.
Well, and if Mandy was here, she would just say, we are all artists and we are all creative. We have just been told we're not. Right? And so
everyone
I just
probably
find
had
that, right? They're not coming out and telling you, hey, I'm an artist. You're going in their house and you're finding, like you said, you're finding the diary that has not the diary, I don't go through my client's diary, okay?
You're finding the tragic poetry and the
Not, but I mean, those kind of things, right? And because they're so transient, that's what they hold on to. You'll find that in their backpack, you'll find them in their thing. They're not holding on to the $200 phone you just bought them, right? Like, they're holding on to those things. So it's interesting to find, or to see. That's just what I guess what I was trying to say, is that you find it in different, you have to bring out that strength that they may not have seen, is what I guess where I was going with that.
It could be also because you're giving them a avenue to be able to express themselves. So maybe.
No, they just, I don't know, that proportionately, they all seem to have very, like the one, I mean, and I'm talking, most of these kids we have were pretty
Yeah.
abused.
Yeah.
But they all could, like, most of all, I shouldn't say all, they didn't do well in school, none of them. But they could either draw really well or write very well. And that's what I'm saying, I never really.
Yeah, I mean, it's something we'd have to research, I guess. Or
There's probably is research.
probably is research.
And I wonder if it's not doing good at school is because school has rules,
Yeah.
right? Art doesn't,
Art doesn't have
wait,
a lot of rules.
art doesn't have rules, but it does have rules,
Right.
you know? And writing doesn't necessarily have rules if you're just writing
To write.
to write.
I think it's structured to being told what to do
Yeah.
versus free reign to.
Free expression.
Yeah, as funny as it is, the kiddo, she gets C's in art. And I'm like, what the hell? Why are you getting C's? And she's like, I don't want to make a turkey. And I'm like, I get it, but you gotta make a stupid turkey. Like, you know.
Do the thing to check the box.
Yeah.
So the work we do under the full moon is not just about taking off the mask. It's about reclaiming power, beauty, and life force that the mask has been covering. Oh, we're doing a fire release and I have nothing for it. Because I'm doing 5 workshops this week, in case anybody's lost count. So, how do you know you're ready to release these identities? Typically, you'll know when it's time to let go. The role you might have been playing might feel like just tight shoes, right? That you've outgrown. You might notice repeating patterns, right? Like always fixing things for others, holding back your truth, staying in situations that drain you. Old habits that once felt safe might feel exhausting. You might long for deeper alignment or truer connection with yourself. Or you might simply feel done with a certain way of being, right? Oh, you just cut up some of this. Okay. Yeah. So this is your inner self telling you it's time to release and step into something new. But now we have to find these false identities in order to release them. Okay? So I did make a list so that we can kind of talk about them a little bit more. So I guess I'll hand this out right now. I'll keep one. Because I made exactly enough. So what we need to understand about these is that releasing identities themselves does not mean rejecting the qualities. So I talked about this at the beginning. You can still take care of people without being the caretaker, right? So the problem isn't that we care for others, work hard, or bring joy into a room. It's when those traits become the only way that you see yourself or the only way that others experience you, okay? You can still take care of people without being the caretaker who sacrifices herself every time. You can still work towards excellence without being the perfectionist. And a lot of people ask me about that one. Well, I have to be excellent. Like, it's not about perfectionism, it's about excellence. Well, is it? Because if you make a mistake, are you being compassionate with yourself or critical? Like, how do you tell the difference? You need to make those distinctions, right? Because I used to say, like, that I wasn't a perfectionist, but I am about some things. I'm not about, like, handouts. Like, I noticed this handout has an extra space. But, like, there would have been a time where I would have been like, damn it, there's an extra space. Now I'm like, there's an extra space on the sheet. Those of you who were at my day retreat, holy fuck. Was Stephanie the only one that was there? Who else was there? Oh, Amber was there. That's The compass?
Why is there an O on your compass?
Yeah, the compass was NOS. W. Well, I think people noticed but just didn't want to say anything. Or thought that I had like a special meaning for it.
Yeah, like, that must mean something. And I'm flipping through the notes trying to see like if it corresponds with the headings or anything. I'm like,
But I used a stock image. Like I didn't make the image. I used a stock image and it was NOSW. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I just laughed and I was like, just so you know, this is wrong, but sorry about your watch. Yeah, and you can still offer peace without being the peacekeeper and swallowing your own truth. You can still be strong without being the strong one who refuses to receive help. So when these roles are worn too tightly, they limit us. Releasing the false identity frees ourselves to choose how we express these qualities, letting our identity be wide enough to hold all of who we are, right? And so what I want you to think about, what are the things you do on autopilot? Right? Without making a choice, that has just become like an identity for you. Okay, I know we go back to somatics a lot, but this is it. Like, how do we create that pause before we just be the good girl, be the perfectionist, right? By healing our nervous system. Okay. So the full moon reminds us that we are whole beings. We can love and support others while loving and supporting ourselves. We can be many things. We are never just one thing. So tonight I ask if you can loosen the grip of the masks and the roles that have defined you, so you can step into a more spacious way of being. Okay? So let's just a couple random people. Just name one of the things on that list that you're like, yep, that's me.
Chameleon.
The chameleon, yeah.
The comic relief.
Oh yeah, no shit. The lone wolf. Yeah.
Strong one.
the hustler.
The hustler. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a meditation to help you start to identify some of these things. And then we'll fill out the worksheet. And then you can write on a little piece of paper that Chastity is cutting up. And we'll do a fire release around it, okay?
They all have a little bit of DNA, my gift from me to you.
Why, did you just cut yourself in there?
That's what I thought.
Oh. It's like bleeding all over it. Here you go.
All right.
Different kind of circle.
So, we don't do those kinds of circles.
Anymore.
All right, you can pass those out, so slips of paper. Or
And a
just
pen?
Pass them around, and then if people need pens.
The slips of paper are just inside the cup.
Sorry.
No, I know.
Nuts.
Oh, nuts.
I just opened an account with Hand Fuel. I'm really excited about that.
What?
Hand Fuel? They're all those fancy nuts. You get them on the WestJet flights.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Is that when they give it to you?
Yeah.
The white with the black, with the Stripies?
Mhm.
Oh, I know.
I just ordered a whole bunch of them.
Whole bunch of nuts.
They're just fancy nuts, like this year.
Well, that's why she was like, you know,
No, that's a different kind of nut, Charlie.
the white package with the stripes.
Not those kinds of fancy.
And fuel.
That's the first time I ate them. Do you know how many snacks I have discovered on WestJet flights? You don't even want to know. Yeah, Bischoff cookies. Also that crema yogurt. Oh my god.
The sesame little crackers, the little garlic ones.
Oh yeah, those are so
I
good.
love those.
Yeah. Anyway.
I know those Costco hot nuts. Those guys, those are good. Dawn.
Hot nut.
Those Costco sweet hot nuts or whatever.
You're like, why am I in trouble right now?
Keith bought me almonds from Mezzo's.
Oh yeah.
And then I had some like our compliment something from Walmart today. I was like,
You're like, does
these
this?
are freaking trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I live where you live, then Carly, are you here again for corn nuts? Yes. I walked here. Give me corn nuts.
The Mezzo's roastery is like walking distance from my house.
Mhm.
We don't go there very much though.
It's probably a good thing.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. You can find a comfy seat for meditation. Just have your papers and stuff here. Yeah.
I want those chip things that are the chip almonds that are in that sweet nuts.
We're all just hungry.
I am now. Thanks.
Everybody's like, give me the nuts.
Like you're looking up to
Just in hand nuts.
Anyways, I ordered 5 different kinds. I'm gonna bring them here.
No, not this way, like this.
Yeah.
Coconut cashew.
Coconut cashew, salted caramel cashew.
Yes.
Maple pecans.
Yeah, that sounds good too.
I'm sure the people who get the recording is like,
Anyway, they should be here.
they're like, why do I want nuts? After the meditation. Should have been during the meditation. Nuts.
But they're not here for people to buy yet.
Oh.
So.
Oh.
I'm like hoping just to sell enough to support my own habit.
Okay, you're just practicing the setup of
Yeah.
talking about when you have them.
Yeah, we all want the nuts now, right?
Yeah.
Where are they going?
I don't know. I'll have to have Joyce and Jane come in again and
To figure out a
tell
place
me
for the
where they
nuts?
should put them. Anyway, okay. Let's find a comfortable seat. Everybody's super excited to find out their false identities. So we're talking about nuts. Okay. Gently closing down the eyes as long as that feels good, right? And safe for you to do so. And just allow your body to settle into the ground beneath you. Noticing the breath. Noticing the temperature on your skin. And I invite you to just imagine yourself standing in front of a clothing rack. And this clothing rack is filled with masks and costumes, each one representing a role, a false identity you've worn at some point in your life. Some feel heavier than others. Some you may have worn so long they feel like a best friend or a second skin. Walking slowly along the clothing rack, noticing the energy of each one. Some might feel comforting, some might feel constricting. And I invite you to really begin to ask yourself, is this still mine to carry? Or is it time that I set it down? walking through and doing this inventory. The overachiever, the caretaker, the perfectionist. Is this mine to carry? The strong one, the peacekeeper, the one who's got it all together. Do I need to continue to keep up these roles? The fixer, the helper, the responsible one, the good girl, the avoider, the hustler, the clown. Is this really who I want to be? The one who shrinks herself down. The lone wolf, the always available, the one who never gets angry, the pleaser, the rule follower. Are these mine to carry? The one who never asks for help, the survivor, the chameleon, the martyr. Are these still protecting me, or can I let them go? Pause and notice if any of these masks really draw your attention. And see if an image, a memory, or a feeling surfaces about when you began wearing it. It's okay if it doesn't. Sometimes it's just interesting to know. And taking a nice full inhale, completely letting that go. And now imagining your truest self, the version of you without any masks. She radiates authenticity and freedom. Take a moment to feel her presence and energy. This is who you are beneath it all. So what is it that you want to let go of tonight? And when you're ready, you can gently open up your eyes. And I want you to go through your false identity archetypes, and I want you to just choose 3 tonight. Okay, you don't need to choose all of them. Most of us need to work through most of them, but choose 3 that really stand out for you. And if you don't find 3, if you just find 1, that's okay too. And once you've found them, I invite you to write them at the bottom of the paper. So, what is the identity? And can you find gratitude for how it served you? Right? And if we can find gratitude for how this identity has served us, it can help us find compassion for taking that identity on in the first place. Okay? So an example could be like the caretaker. Thank you for helping me keep peace in my family when it felt unsafe. Okay? Or the one who never asks for help, right? There's that meme going around that hyper-independence is a trauma response. For me, it was I never asked for help because I didn't want to owe anybody anything. And then when you're finished that, you can just write the 3 identities. Or maybe it's just one that you feel ready to release tonight. Do I have a paper
What paper?
to write on?
No, but there's the pen in there. And then we put one on the paper that we want to get rid of.
At least one, yeah.
Do we have to write what we wrote?
No, just
The word?
Yeah. Alright. So I'm going to start. You can share or you can not share. But if we can keep it to like 1 minute each at a max. So I'm releasing the peacekeeper and the good girl, and the peacekeeper definitely kept me safe as a child. And the good girl taught me attention elsewhere that I needed.
Releasing the responsible one. Keeping, my one was low income, so keeping things together, being responsible, kind of helped get me where I am. Like, put a roof over my head for a long time. I have a career, and I'll have a really good pension, so, you know, it's really beneficial to me for a long time. But I think there's still such a thing as old. I had a really long pair of tongs that I was using to clean my tower fan that died, so I'm gonna bring them in so we can do this.
So burn your fingers?
Yeah.
I did have some for a while.
I remember seeing The Fixer, The Hustler, and Survivor, and I think they all kind of come to the same thing of being safe and yeah. Burning all the words.
I am releasing the perfectionist, the strong one, and the one who never asked for help. The perfectionist made me strive for greatness, and the strong one got me through a lot of terrible things, and the one who never asked for help just made me really independent and capable. So.
I'm releasing the shrinker, chameleon survivor, and never getting angry. The life I would say kept me safe.
No, it's heat, not smoke. Trust me, that's the first question I asked when I moved in. Literally.
So I'm releasing the one who has it all together. It was an image that I put on for my kids so that they felt safe. And now we are a lot more honest with each other.
Thank you.
I am releasing the caretaker and the strong one. These are things I've done my whole entire life, and I'm tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I am holding on to these.
One more time, Vicky, one more time.
You can do it.
Don't hold it in your hand. For those who are waiting, you're making it moist.
It could be your DNA fingers.
I made it moist.
I'm releasing the survivor and the avoider, and I'm grateful that they will keep me safe and protected. And I don't need them anymore.
No, you don't.
I chose the fixer. I'd love to fix the world. I'd like to make sure everybody around me is happy, healthy, safe, and all animals are loved, and but I have to realize that, I need to fix me too. And so, happy end.
I didn't get a nice split.
You have one that chassis really lit.
Yeah. She's had a lot of DNA, you've had a lot of DNA on that.
So I'm really burns it, we won't warn you. Sing the good girl and the perfectionist. They get me sing. And happy for a little bit. Actually, my first tattoo when I was 18 was perfectionism is the voice of the oppressor.
The impressed. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
The tattoo
Yeah.
was perfectionism is the voice of the oppressor, which was an animal, actually about writing. And it's about how the first draft sometimes used to color bill.
Yeah.
I'm going to be releasing the avoider, the chameleon, and the perfectionist. Mainly the perfectionist. I've missed out on a lot of things in my life because I just won't do it unless it's perfect. So I've been letting that go and finding that things can actually go okay even if they're not perfect. It's serving me very well.
Refuses to pass half.
I'm releasing perfectionism as well. I don't need to be perfect to be loved or valued.
caretaker, the pleaser, the martyr. I think it was like just a learned behavior, like from my mom, and so I brought it into my relationship, and now it's just expected, but not anymore. So, maybe not.
So I am releasing the hustler, the one who never asks for help, and the fixer. These identities taught me a lot, and now they don't have to be an identity. It can just be something that I learned and moved on from.
I am releasing the lone wolf, the one who never asks for help, and the perfectionist. So that made me independent, be able to do a lot of things, but it's not the life I want to live now. It can be different. I like that.
And people are peacekeeper, avoider, and pleaser. And I think they kept you safe from things that I just wasn't ready for, didn't have the capacity to deal with at the time.
I'm just releasing the one who never asked for help. I was raised to not rely on people to get you out of things, always learn to figure it out yourself. And yeah, I guess I just don't need to have that thoughts anymore.
So I'm releasing the responsible one, and I'm thankful for it allowing me to care deeply for others, the one who shrinks for protecting me until I was ready, and for the one who is always available for letting me serve people till I could build my own strength.
I said I'm gonna release the avoider, but after listening all, it's like, oh, I probably should release that. Don't ask for help, but
Yeah, definitely.
nah. And then on my paper, see, it's like, no, you don't want to release that. Leave that. It's good. I have the avoider, never gets angry, and comic relief. Haha. So, and for avoiding is usually just because I can put stuff on the back burner until I feel like it makes me angry, which never getting angry taught me how to settle.
Mm-hmm.
Settle as in like, I don't need to like freak out right now.
Yeah.
And then comic relief, I mean, if you can't laugh at yourself, I guess who else can you laugh at? So.
Okay. So let's take a minute and just close the eyes for another moment here. And I'll ask you just to repeat after me out loud. I release the roles that no longer serve my truth.
Release the roles that no longer serve my truth.
I return to my authentic self, free and whole.
I return to my authentic self, free and whole.
And now, if you can put your hand over your heart and just notice how you're feeling, and ask yourself the question, who am I when I'm not trying to, be the fixer, the perfectionist, the one, the peacekeeper, like, who am I? And just feel into that. Don't think of it intellectually. But what does it feel like when you don't have to identify with that anymore? And then taking a nice full deep breath all the way in. Complete exhale. And if you want to just keep your eyes